In mid-June this year, state prosecutors warned that they would go on a sit-down strike if government does not enhance their salaries and improve their terms of work.
We wrote a proposal to the Minister of Justice, to the subcommittee of Parliament, that our pay should be raised so that a state prosecutor can start at 15 million, a state attorney at 16, a senior state attorney at 17, up to 40 million for the director of public prosecutions.
Now, after the ultimatum they gave government to meet their demands, or at least to commit in writing to do so, expired with no word from government, the state prosecutors came good on their thread.
How do you expect people to dress smartly when you are not paying them to be able to dress in good clothes that reflect not only their profession, but also reflect the image of government?
They kept away from the courts, and when NTV visited courts in and around Kampala and various districts, there was no much activity.
So yesterday, the ultimatum which was given by the General Assembly expired, meaning that automatically the strike was triggered.
The press is as quiet as a desert, the way you can see.
Prison authorities told NTV that they did their part and brought in the inmates as required in court, but they were turned away pending an amicable solution between government and the prosecutors.
So, and since court did not commit itself to tell us that we shouldn't take the inmates, for us we took the inmates normally.
The judiciary spokesperson says only criminal cases were affected.
So the effect is that we will not be handling criminal trials for the time being, because they are the people who prosecute, they are the people who lead the testimonies, they are the people who lead everything in regard to criminal trials.
According to prison authorities, 90% of the prisoners are on remand over criminal cases.
Because we take an average of 1,200 inmates to court. Out of them, about 100 are the ones who are on civil cases. The remaining, the bulk, about 96% of the inmates are criminal offenders.
Relatives of prisoners who had sought bail for their loved ones were stranded at various courts.
He has a family, the children, the wife is sick, the children are not going to school, he's the father, he's the mother, everything. So we are confused, we don't know what to do.
Recently, the report that came out put a number of the total case backlog, both civil and criminal, to about 37,000 cases in our system.
Does it make sense to keep taking prisoners to court and there is no attendance from court and they get back to the prison? Because justice delayed is justice denied.
Besides a huge case backlog and the congestion in the prisons, police says are likely to fill up to capacity if the state prosecutors strike continues.
Because right now we have 56,000 inmates, 724. So, which is far away from our capacity, which is about 20,000. Now, there is something we are envisaging. One, there is a discontentment that is going to be generated. I only don't wish it reaches to the levels of a riot. But two, there are very many held up cases now with the other side. A big inflow of inmates generates a crisis. Generates a crisis in resources, generates a crisis on funding.
It is not only affecting the court, it is also affecting the litigants, the people who come to court to seek justice, which justice should not be delayed. So that is one problem. But for this week, we shall continue to have our civil matters.
The laying down of their tools is a necessary evil, which we hope will be used as a stepping stone to stamp out corruption from the judiciary. Because if their complaint is that the pay is peanuts, which indeed it is.
The judicial spokesperson Vincent Mkau proposed other remedies in case the strike continues and the issues are not resolved.
You can access the courts through your relatives. They can make an application for unconditional release. And indeed, most of those people have been released on orders of the court if they have not been charged within the prescribed time. But, police can release some of these people on police bond if they deserve.
It is about 11 a.m. and I'm here at Nakawa Magistrates Court. And on a working day like this court is one of the busiest courts and it's always full to capacity. But today, all the courtrooms have been abandoned because state prosecutors are on strike. This has got a lot of implication in the dispensation of justice, and it's a waking call to government. Jingo Francis, NTV.